Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar. Team Canada's Olympic men's hockey roster is stacked with NHL talent going into these Winter Games. But there's something noticeably absent this time around.
It really is shocking that there are no Quebec players on Team Canada for the Olympics and the male team.
From Maurice Richard to Mario Lemieux, La Belle Provence has provided some of the all-time greats. Some of them have represented Canada on the international stage. When NHL players were allowed to play in the Winter Games between 1998 and 2014, Quebec supplied several teammates every Olympics. And before NHL players came to participate, Quebecois players were part of every Olympic team since 1956. But that's no longer the case. And Kelly says it's not because of anti-Quebec bias.
You can't say, as sometimes has been said in the Quebec press before, it's anti-Quebec sentiment, they didn't pick these guys. There's no one to pick. Look at the National Hockey League and name a star Quebecois player. You can't.
How did we go from 4 Quebec players in the Sochi Games in 2014 to none in Milano-Cortina 2026? This Habs Nation author lays some of the blame on the Montreal Canadiens.
The identity of the team was so tied to French Quebec. In 1993, which is the last time the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup and the last Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup, 14 of the players were French Canadian. Since then, you haven't had that. At different times, there was maybe 1 or 2.
Hockey Quebec runs the sport in the province. It's had its share of problems in recent years. Months after the Habs fielded a completely non-Quebecois team in 2021, then Premier Francois Legault set up a committee to boost Quebecers' interest in the sport. The committee was headed by former NHL goalie Marc Denis. He came up with several recommendations a year later, including making the sport cheaper to play. But Kelly says the recommendations seem to have gone nowhere. A few years after the report, former NHL goalie Jocelyn Thibault stepped down as the head of Hockey Quebec, citing resistance to change.
This is a problem that's been developing for a long time. You got to put the path to the solutions in place, and then it'll take years.
We reached out to the Montreal Canadiens and Hockey Quebec for a response, but didn't hear back. An influx of international players at the professional level and competition from US leagues at the junior level have also made it difficult for Quebec to compete. And don't forget about the cost. Youth hockey carries an average price tag of around $3,000 a year in Canada. That's more than 3 times the average cost of basketball and nearly 5 times the cost of swimming.
You have to play spring hockey. You have to take special skill courses. This was not even the case when I was a kid, and it definitely wasn't a case in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
And while some people may shrug at the thought of no Quebecers on the team, Kelly believes this is an issue that should matter to all Canadians.
It's so important to the fabric of the country and of Quebec. The Montreal Canadiens, they are the most iconic, storied team. There's a history, there's a cultural history here. The first ever team played at McGill University. It matters. If you're Canadian, I think you should care.